Good morning. Welcome to Mississippi Sunday at the Orthodox Congregational Church in Lanesville. I'm so excited, and it's so good to see each of you here this morning. For those with children ages 0 to 3, we have a nursery downstairs available throughout the service. We also have junior church for ages 3 through 2nd grade, and we have Kids of the Kingdom for grades 3 through 6 next door. Restrooms are also next door in the parish hall, where we will be gathering following the service for a time of fellowship. I have a few announcements this morning. The first is the first Thursday of every month, Lanesville sends at least 2 volunteers to help serve community meals at Open Door. We are looking for 2 volunteers for August 6th from 3:30 to 6 p.m. The sign-up sheet is on the wall in the parish hall and has slots for the rest of the year. Please text Jim Bagley if you have any questions. Secondly, Lanesville VBS starts next week. We have over 50 kids signed up, and it will run from 9 a.m. to 12 from August 3rd through 7th. Even if you can't be there every day, there is still a place for you. There's a meeting today at 11:45 a.m. in the Pillar Room for anyone interested in volunteering or already volunteering. And lastly, Saturday, August 15th is our all-church picnic. There is a sign-up sheet in the parish hall next door. Please stand for our call to worship. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not remain in me, he is like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be given to you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have obeyed my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this, so my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete.
Alrighty, so after each day of worshiping in VBS, we do it every morning. We have a skit afterwards. Now, the theme of the week for Mississippi was peace. And so each day we looked at a different aspect of peace, how we could apply it, how we could really soak it in, and where it actually comes from, which is Jesus. So today we're going to look at Monday's skit, Introducing Peace. It's a newscaster theme, which is pretty fun. And so there's captions in case you guys can't hear it super well, but enjoy.
Hello and welcome back to SMQ News. Man, are we looking at day today? Benny?
That's right, Mary. Tell us, what are we looking at for today?
This just in. We're looking at droughts, sandstorms, snowstorms, tsunamis, and hurricanes, all in Canton, Mississippi.
Oof, it is literally raining cats and dogs.
There you go.
Mary,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it literally raining cats and dogs during a drought before. Gary, take it away.
Great segment. You could say 5. 2 good news. Hello, I'm Gary.
Mary, the good news guy, and it is my job to bring you good news in any and every situation, whether we're talking cats or dogs. Well, Benny and Mary, you know, it might seem like the world's collapsing right now, but it's not, because, man, I don't think I can figure this out.
Cut. Harry, have one job. We need to think of viewers at home. They're scared. They're stressed. They're anxious. They're all freaking out. Please, we're counting on you to bring us some happiness, like something that'll bring us some peace.
I know, but you know, I just can't hold this with all the hurricanes and like the dog, you know. So I just and my mustache fell off. You know, I just feel like I haven't felt happiness or peace in a long time.
But you're the good news guy.
Wait, what if there's more to talk about than just weather?
That's right.
I don't think I get it. Well, we specialize in weather, but everyone can see that if they just, you know, look outside.
I never thought
Right.
about that before.
Bruce, man. Turn the cameras over here. Today, just in, everyone all around feels more isolated because social media usage. Louder.
Fellow.
The local zoo recently caught on fire. Northeast tonight feels darker than usual, and there are people on. There are many reports of people having a hard time finding friends. Gary.
That's hard! I can't figure that out!
Cut. I didn't mean to talk about more stressful things.
But they are happening, and we can't control the weather, so I was thinking maybe we find something else.
You know, I don't think we can control anything.
Guys, I think we're looking at everything wrong. Exactly. Thank you, camera. It's Cameron. But have you guys heard of the original good news guy?
Wait, camera.
Cameron.
Did you say there's another good news guy? Is he an inside job? Come on, Gary. Think happy. We have rainbows, butterflies, unicorns, lollipops. See? I can be the good news guy. I am the good news guy.
Anyway, you were saying? No. He's not going to take your job, okay? You're amazing good news guy, okay? But he is going to help you get a little bit better at it, okay? Tell me more. Okay. His name is Jesus, and he came to bring life and peace to all of us. You know, I often hear people talk a lot about peace, but I don't really know exactly what it means. This just in. What is it, and where does it come from?
Tune in as we interview the locals to see if they know what peace is.
What do you think that peace is? I like it.
My good man, what do you think about peace?
Happy or just relaxful.
Yes,
Well said.
I love
Well
it.
said.
I love it. You heard it here first on SMQ News. Back to the studio. Okay, so yeah, peace, right? It's a little different from comfort, although they do usually go together. But peace is when you know everything is going to be okay, even when it doesn't feel like it's going to be okay. And Jesus came and brought peace and life to all of us. But where can we find this good news guy named Jesus? Oh, he's all around. You can talk to him anytime you want. He's the Son of God and came to earth so that we could know him and have peace now and forever. Wow, that's amazing. I want to know him.
Me too, but how does knowing him bring peace to us?
5 visits to our fair, everyone. Hand the cameras. Remember, Jesus.
This just in. We've just received news that Jesus is the source of our peace.
Tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. for more updates on this good news guy.
And thank you for watching SMQ News.
morning. As you can see, we had a lot of fun. These trips have always meant a lot to me, and since my first trip 14 years ago, this trip has planted itself very deeply in my heart. So I took a little time to reflect on why that might be. Because one of the things that you can rely on about this trip is that it will look different every year. Each year, the team is different, the kids who show up at VBS are different, the work projects are different, but what I've found to be constant, is the consistent providence of God each and every year. He provides the team by calling individuals. He prepares the way before us, opening up kids' hearts and minds to his word. And he sustains the efforts of the trip leaders to make this trip come together. And on top of it all, he is present throughout every moment of the trip. This has been true every year I have attended the trip, but now being in a leadership role, I can see it incredibly, shockingly clearly. I would like to share several gifts from God shown through this year. This year, I was nervous about the smaller team size. I was concerned about the ability for us to do VBS and then the work projects with such a small and mostly inexperienced crew. But, as God always does, he showed his hand through the team that came together. There were lots of laughs, silly shenanigans, and some tears, courtesy of a particular batch of spicy peppers from the garden. My worries for VBS were quickly calmed when we rolled into the parking lot Monday morning, jumped into action gathering the kids for prayer, then started setting up for the day. There were happy reunions with each of the kids we knew and a few new faces, but the crowd was notably small. Once the VBS's day's rotations started, we were able to split into 2 groups instead of 4. There it was, a quiet gift. Now we had an abundance of helpers that could invest their attention into each and every kid. Not only that, but with the groups combined, the more experienced leaders were able to work alongside each of the trip rookies and show them the ropes of Psalm Quarter VBS. There was a lot of thought that went into our involvement with In His Steps Agape Camp that is now up, running, and thriving. Skits and songs from VBS were shared with the camp attendees on several days of the week, but the team was over at the camp property a lot. The Bacons asked for the work project this year to be one of the buildings on the property, which we were quick to hand off to Josh Doty as our work crew. In addition, we had the bonus project of reinstalling a basketball hoop in the Solomon Quarter. Now, these sounded doable, but there was a lot to get done and not a lot of hands. Now, when I was worried about the team's ability to finish a work project, I think I definitely undersold the amount of determination and stubbornness that this team has. Sure, many of them have never done anything like it before, but everybody was ready to jump in, and it was a second gift from God. The team dynamics, both logistical and social, were something that I'd been praying a lot about. On the logistics side, big things like figuring out our food person were up in the air throughout the trip planning. But as always, God came through. Not 24 hours after telling Carolyn Bacon that we didn't have a kitchen person for the trip, I received a joint call from Carolyn and Claire telling me that they had a meal schedule made and almost all volunteer slots were filled. The social side of my worries, yeah, that was a gift in of it itself. The social side of my worries focused on the young crew that we had this year. It was the first time handling heat for several of them, and the first time any of them had gone, a lot of them had gone on a trip of this sort. God provided. God provided cool clouds, small misting rain showers, and temperatures that were some days even cooler than what you were experiencing here in Massachusetts. As you might expect, the lack of oppressive heat made everything easier. The team got along very well, and the adaptability everyone showed impressed me. So it was yet another gift from God. I would like you to come away from this service hearing the many things that we can be grateful for from this year, as well as a few things to be praying for. First, pray for all of the work that In His Steps does and the Agape Camp. They are working throughout the year, and they're doing a lot down in Canton, Mississippi. I ask you to pray for the Solomon Quarter and all of the folks living there and the ones that have moved out. This year we noticed there were a lot of empty houses where families we knew used to be. Last, pray for our church and for ways that we can support the Bacons and Canton in all of the things going on. Pray for creativity and wisdom in how we can be of service to them. Thank you all for all your prayers and support, and I'm happy to report it was another wonderful year.
Good morning. So this is my third trip down to Mississippi. I seem to be a little bit on the every 7 to 8 to 9 year program. And it's the thing I do when I'm in transition, I guess. There's some disadvantages to that, to being a little bit out of the flow. For example, some of the kids in the Sawmill Quarter were not born last time I was in Mississippi in 2018. But there is also the blessing of being able to kind of trace God's handiwork throughout the years, and see sort of the development that happens over a bit of time. Not totally unlike coming back to Lanesville from Bangladesh and seeing kids that I remembered as super little grow up. So the thing I most enjoyed was reconnecting with Jasper and Carolyn over the years, and just to engage again the quality of the ministry that they have built with God and their humility. The theme over and over again that we heard from them was God did it. This is a God did it story. And I was especially refreshed and encouraged to see that in the midst of many challenging debates and political things that have been happening over the last several years, they are courageous in addressing real issues, but they are laser focused on Jesus Christ and fixing their eyes on him as the only one who has eternal solutions and the last and best hope for both for themselves, all of us, and the communities that they minister to. They really took the time we saw them just about every day. They really took it on them to disciple us and the team. And I remember there was a whole time when they sat us down and we had a discussion on what is cultural Christianity versus what is biblical Christianity. What do we really sink down and build roots on? I really appreciated the theme of peace this year. Peace with God, peace with one another, peace that comes through Jesus as the reconciler. And it was a hard trip for me in some ways. It was, as you know, I'm still very much in transition, and it was a bit of a perfect storm of some health realities, some overseas realities, and job things. So it was an opportunity for me to lean deep into the theme of peace and where does it come from in the midst of trouble, and an invitation to fix my eyes on Jesus, an invitation that was to each team member as we worked together, as we did engage some difficult heat and some challenges and unexpected plot twists, but there were the daily devotional reminders where we would just do devotions every day together that would reflect some of the themes of the VBS. There would be the Bible sessions, which Emily prepared so well, and then there was Glenn preaching practically a mini sermon on peace and God breaking down dividing walls every time we sung deep. So I'll just conclude with a little girl who blessed me greatly in the Sawmill Quarter. She was in my group, and she's one of the kids that probably wasn't born last time I was there. Her name's Aubrey. You saw her probably in the skit. She's just a bright girl who just seemed to have such an open and sensitive heart toward God and toward our team. She would often put special requests in for worship songs, and on the last day of VBS, she grabbed the big camera prop that Emily had made, and she went around interviewing everyone she could find, what's your favorite passage of the Bible? What's your favorite part of the Bible? And so we'd tell her. And so my prayer for her and for these other Sawmill Quarter kids is, in the midst of the challenging realities in their present and in their future, mixed with mercies, because that's what God does, that they will be able to dig deep down into these truths, that Jesus is our peace, that he reconciles us to God, to one another. He is with us and walking with us in the midst of trouble. And I pray that these truths would seep down deep into their hearts, and would bear fruit that leads to transformation and blessing, both for themselves and for their communities. Thanks.
Morning. So this year was my first year I've been able to go on the Mississippi trip. And it's probably one of the best decisions I have made. And I've made fairly many good decisions in the last few years since I've been coming here. I have been blessed in the fact that I've been able to go all over the world, all over the country, live many places, meet many people. But this trip to Mississippi is something special. There's just the people you get to meet down there is amazing. The people that you get to go with are amazing. I was lucky enough that I didn't do much of the actual planning. I got to come in for the easy part. All right, I just had to build stuff and hang out. And then Anna and Josh did all that, the heavy planning. It's perfect. Exactly what I needed. But it was just an amazing experience where we get to go, and these kids are excited that we're there. Like, they look forward to this. And, we get to play games with them, teach them, the Word of God, sing songs with them. And some of the kids came and worked with us a little bit. It was awesome. It was an amazing experience. And, just the lives that you get to touch while you're down there, but also the lives that touch you. I can't explain in words how amazing an experience that was and how I want to go every single year. And I hope that, some of you join us next year and we can have an even bigger group. That'd be amazing. But I just want to leave you short and sweet, all right? I don't have a lot to say, except that just how blessed I feel that I was able to go. And every day since we've been back, I kind of wish I was there. But thank you guys for your time, and God bless.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so this may be a little long because I have a lot to say, but just bear with me here. Okay, so hello friends, family, loved ones, and Mississippi 2016. If you don't already know who I am, I'm Abby Borgerson, and I used to come to this church when I was little. But I mainly go to the youth group here led by our amazing leaders, Anna and Josh Metz. I'm 15 years old, a rising sophomore at Manchester Essex Regional High School, a part of many other clubs, sports, and whatnot, and most importantly, a part of the Mississippi 2016. This was my second year coming on this trip. And let me just say, for starters, this trip is absolutely life-changing. So let me tell you a little bit about it. To provide a little more information about how this trip has helped me is that before I started going last year, I struggled a lot with who I was, if God was actually real, what my broken family should look like, and how to fit into fake friendships that were only making me feel worse about myself. Listen, I know how it feels to experience this lost feeling and to be constantly drifting off into a space where you need something but you can't put your finger on it. Let me tell you that this magical, all-healing thing is Jesus. I grew up in cultural Christianity, which we got to talk a lot about in Mississippi and how it differs from biblical Christianity. But basically, I was the kid who always sat in church, had a tear-stained face from begging my mom not to go, always brought something to keep me busy during the boring service, and had to suffer through my mom chatting with the endless people at the end of church who wanted to know every single piece of information that was new in our life. When I went on this trip, these bonds of cultural Christianity suddenly dissolved, and I got to feel what experiencing Jesus was like for the first time and pretty much ever. From team worship to devotions to prayer to even just talking about my experience with others, this trip has grown me in many different ways. But don't get me wrong, I love connecting with Jesus on a personal level, but the best part of this trip was the kids. Last year, I was with the younger girls who could voice their experiences at home and their relationships with Jesus a bit more than the munchkins who I was with this year. I loved working with the babies so much because they're all super adorable and really fun to play with. Frustrating at times, like Corbin continuously running away, they were all really fun to take care of. I went on this trip for the first time with expectations that it would heal me, but I ended up getting to do better by experiencing what it feels like to heal with others and share Jesus with them. Yes, the trip definitely went by faster this year, but it was such a blast, and I love each and every one of those kids with truly my whole heart. I remember on Sunday afternoon when we were passing out flyers in the Sawmill Quarter, I was in Glenn's group. We went to a couple of houses where the people living there really needed to vent about their situations and what God had or hadn't done for them. These people were so in need of someone to talk with that they talked to us, funny-looking strangers that they didn't even know. See, that's the type of connection that I strive for, the type of connection that God pieces together for a reason that he had webbed together all along. Sorry, I skipped a line. God pieced together for a reason that eventually makes a giant plan that he had webbed together all along. You can see countless photos of all the fun things we did, but nothing compares to the relationships and connections you get to make and experience on this trip. I would go on this trip 100 more times if I could. So even though I didn't do a huge dive into micro-specific moments on this trip, I hope my testimony inspired you all to either think about going on this trip in the future or helping out in some way, because it is truly a life-changing experience for you, your faith, the kids, and much more. And that's why this experience has really changed my life. God is good, and thank you.
You may be seated. While the offering is being collected, we'll be enjoying a slideshow from this year's trip, so enjoy.
Good morning. Welcome to Mississippi Sunday at the Orthodox Congregational Church in Lanesville. I'm so excited, and it's so good to see each of you here this morning. For those with children ages 0 to 3, we have a nursery downstairs available throughout the service. We also have junior church for ages 3 through 2nd grade, and we have Kids of the Kingdom for grades 3 through 6 next door. Restrooms are also next door in the parish hall, where we will be gathering following the service for a time of fellowship. I have a few announcements this morning. The first is the first Thursday of every month, Lanesville sends at least 2 volunteers to help serve community meals at Open Door. We are looking for 2 volunteers for August 6th from 3:30 to 6 p.m. The sign-up sheet is on the wall in the parish hall and has slots for the rest of the year. Please text Jim Bagley if you have any questions. Secondly, Lanesville VBS starts next week. We have over 50 kids signed up, and it will run from 9 a.m. to 12 from August 3rd through 7th. Even if you can't be there every day, there is still a place for you. There's a meeting today at 11:45 a.m. in the Pillar Room for anyone interested in volunteering or already volunteering. And lastly, Saturday, August 15th is our all-church picnic. There is a sign-up sheet in the parish hall next door. Please stand for our call to worship. Who's the king of the sea? Bubble, bubble, bubble. Who's the king of the universe? And who's the king? His name is J-E-S-U-S. Yes!